want to talk about teaching English in Thailand and some laws that are passing in Thailand. I finally got to talk to some people that I know that work within the government in I forgot the name of the province, but it's the Pattaya province. This is actually a really big spot where a lot of teachers teach in Thailand throughout the country. If it's not Bangkok, it's this. I have met people in there. They work in the Ministry of Education. So they finally got back to me, kind of answer some questions. But today I wanted to talk about an article that's been going around, and I got asked this in the comments, and I took some time. I want to give you the best information possible. I am not as fluent in the Thai government system as I am in Vietnam, but I know people that are, and they work within it, so we're able to get some answers. So let me switch you over to the article. There we go. So what this article is, I know you can't see all of it, but requirements for education degree course for foreign teachers going away. What this program is, I feel, in short, is a type of program to regulate who the teachers are that are working within Thailand. And they want to start setting a standard, so they're kind of eliminating the backpackers, the alcoholics, and getting real teachers within their country. A big reason for this, if you see my older videos, I've talked about how Vietnam is going to, and already approved this law, remove English as a requirement. Now, this isn't about Vietnam, but this means a lot to what this law is about to do. Now, what this law means is in 2025, Vietnamese students will no longer be required to pass English to graduate high school. Talking to friends that work in these sectors out here, one thing that universities are talking about, this is something that people have been telling me, like, well, Vietnamese can't go to university without an English certification. A lot of universities in Hanoi and Saigon, these are the only two cities I can verify, are already considering making plans that don't require English, and also limiting the amount of programs that they offer that require English, as they feel that because of this requirement being taken away, a lot of Vietnamese are not going to learn English because there's no value to it. Understand, most people that learn English for a life skill or to work abroad is way under 4% of the Vietnamese population. And that 4% comes out of Da Nang, Hanoi, and Saigon combined. So most Vietnamese don't care. And when you tell a Vietnamese family, hey, you no longer have to pass this test, and you can save $500 to $1,000 a month on English center fees, they're all going to agree. Because the culture of Vietnam is really just fast gratification, and social media is not helping this at all. So with that being said, if you guys have been around the block in Asia for a while, you know back in 2017, I believe it is, China changed their regulation laws on how to be a teacher in China. What happened was those teachers migrated down to Vietnam, and what that did was it caused teachers in Saigon that didn't have degrees, which was a common thing to have teachers with no degrees in Saigon working, is they migrated over to Cambodia. And pretty much South Vietnam turned into a Filipino / borderline non-native requirement, where they were taking Filipinas particularly over actual native speakers. So what does this mean, and why am I even talking about this? Once this rule finalizes, what's going to happen is a lot of these teachers, because they're going to realize, oh, there's no work in Vietnam. And this will happen. Mark my words. I don't mean this as a threat. I've always warned you guys when things happen in Vietnam. When it came to the 90-day e-visa, I even warned you guys when they were going to start removing Westerners because of the whole visa thing back in 2020. I told you guys why it was going to happen. And there were still YouTube videos out there saying they're kicking out Westerners because they hate them. No. They are reforming their immigration rules, and they're removing these fake agents making fake business permits and getting fake government officials to stamp them for money. That's what happened. And this process, not that process, but this process of like going from China to Vietnam is about to continue, to where these Vietnamese Western English teachers are going to start flocking over to either Cambodia if they don't have a degree, or they're going to fly over to Thailand, where it's kind of the last country in Southeast Asia you can teach English as a career. And everything else is kind of lost. So we've lost China. Cambodia is questionable. Cambodia is becoming weird because Cambodians that learn English typically learn it because they want to. So the demand is quite low. In Laos, there's just no point. We taught out there for a month. I got to talk to a lot of people. I did a video about teaching English in Laos, and the pay is very low. There's not much to do. Just, it's not going to be a solution. Not to the capability that Vietnam offers, or that China offered, or what Thailand is offering. And it doesn't even compare to Cambodia. Cambodia is a small market. It doesn't even compare to that. It's so low. So what is all this rule? I know I've been talking a lot, but let's get into it. So what this rule is going to do is, unless you have a degree in teaching English, you can no longer teach English in Thailand legally. The makeup for this is you get this like 2-year exemption, and what they're going to do is they're going to limit it down to you can only do this one time. What does that mean? After 2 years, you have to leave Thailand. You can't be a teacher there no more. You can be a tourist, you can retire, you can get an elite visa, but you just can't be a teacher. So the idea of this is you go through this program. It runs like 60 to 70 hours. They call it the 7-module training course. And they pretty much teach you how to be a teacher. Think of it as a very drawn out TEFL or like is it called CELTA test? Like think of it as CELTA program, the Thailand edition. That's all this is. It's quite expensive. So yeah, you're looking between 3,000 to 4,000 baht per module. You have 7 of them. So you're looking between like $600 to $900. I don't know the math offhand. About 3,200 baht is about $100. So, and you got 7 total programs, and this gives you a certificate. Now, this certificate is just for Thailand. So if you're only going to teach for like a year, this is going to like really destroy. And this is what I have gotten back on feedback is this is what Thailand's trying to do. They're trying to get rid of the backpackers. They're trying to get rid of the drunks. They're trying to get rid of the non-qualified teachers. They want real teachers. They don't want what's happening in Vietnam, what happened to China. They don't want what's going on in Cambodia right now. They want real teachers. Teach us English or get out of here. That's it. So that's what's going on here. This is going to start, I believe, this year. Now, if you're already on an exemption, teachers are already starting to take this. Now, when I say start next year, I mean like when it's going to be required for everybody. Yeah, see, so they're already opening up this program for a lot of people. Now, I haven't got full feedback on where these programs are going to be, what they're going to entitle. From what I got from my friend, it's pretty much a CELTA program. It's just a very long CELTA program where Thailand is going to make a whole lot of money, but they're also going to filter out a whole lot of bad teachers. So if your intent is just to get trashed every day and party like a rock star and go work at a job for 2 or 3 hours a day, Thailand is soon not going to be that solution. Like Southeast Asia is really removing this whole like backpacker theme that's been going on, where you can just kind of like stop in Vietnam, teach for 6 months, and then just bounce over to like Cambodia, do the same, go to Thailand, do the same, go to Laos, go to these countries and do this. These countries are getting rid of all this stuff, is kind of where it's going. So in short, what is going on in Thailand? This is going to, I feel Thailand in somewhere mid 2024, they're going to get a flood of Vietnamese, Western people from Vietnam going there to get jobs because of this whole Vietnam thing going on. Why? Again, because Vietnam has removed English as a requirement for a high school graduate test. And on top of that, universities in Vietnam are also starting to adjust to it, because if they can't go to the universities, there's going to be a problem. And plus, the first 2 years of Vietnamese university is learning about the government. I'm going to keep it right there, but you know what I mean. So the government also needs people to go to university. The benefit of it is huge for the government. The benefit for the students is typically minute, because most of them end up working at coffee shops and massage parlors. So that is not an insult. That is literally what happens. Go talk to anybody at a massage parlor or a coffee shop. 95% of them have degrees. And you can kind of see where the problem is. Why people still go to university, I think it's just required for the most part. Let's get to the program. So the KSP program, this is the whole learning program. You're looking at 7 modules, which is about $100 per module, and a total of 420 hours. Hey, isn't weed legal in Thailand though? So that's kind of funny. And the idea is the use of Thai language, block communication, yada, 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 agreements. So I will leave a link below that will talk about this article. This is actually, he links the actual Thai government. I sent it through Bard AI just to make sure that everything was chill. And he also sent this through AI to get translated. Read it on your own, understand it on your own. The long story short, if you don't have a degree in like English and you're not a real English teacher, it's going to be very hard to be an English teacher in probably the next couple years, where there's going to be a surplus of us. There's going to be schools looking for teachers than there are teachers looking for jobs, because there's going to be hundreds of teachers looking for the same position. And I'm already seeing it now in Vietnam, where I'm going through these Zalo forms for teaching groups. And people that I've seen, they've been white, they've been black, they've been UK, South African, Americans, people from the UK and Europe. They've all said the same thing. We're applying for 5 or 10 different jobs and we're not getting callbacks. Or we're doing these demo lessons, they're paying us for the demo lesson, and then they hire somebody else. So it's already getting hard in Vietnam for English teachers to actually get jobs out here and maintain them. So if you do have an English job out here right now, check out my books, get the activities, make sure you have my ready-to-use lesson plans. Be the best of the best, because when this stuff starts hitting the fan, no, it's going to be weird for Vietnam, and it's going to be weird for a lot of countries. And if you do plan on going to Thailand, I strongly suggest checking the link below. Read this article. Make sure you truly understand it. This is already officially stamped and signed by the Thai government and the Ministry of Education. This is an official thing. So it's starting to roll out now. If you live in Thailand, you might actually be introduced to this program or even involved in this program at this point. And if not, you're going to see it probably sometime in early next year. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you want to check out the books for teaching how to keep that job, I promise you will keep the job if you go through these programs I got for you. They're stupid cheap. And check out the other videos about Vietnam and the education changes there. Vietnam's education is going to change drastically in 2024. Drastically. And it's going to be a kind of an avalanche till once it gets to probably the third quarter of 2024 is when everything's going to just dead stop like it happened in China 2 years ago, or 3 years ago rather. So prepare yourself, my peoples, and do well. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I will see you again